Sir.
Is it 6?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will call the Rules Committee to order. Whatever time, I don't have my phone, so I don't know what time it is.
It's 6 o'clock.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Schaffner,
Yeah, President.
Carroll. Yes. McLean.
Here.
Also in attendance, we have Fiscal Officer Brian Bibler, Village Administrator Matt Nyheiser, Police Chief Brett Rogers, Village Solicitor Jeff Bako, Mayor Rick Ellis, and council members Gar Phillips, Rick Foreman, and Brandon Curry. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from March 23rd?
I move to approve the minutes from March 23rd's meeting.
Roll call.
McLean.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes. Ron, do you have anything for our Rules Committee? All right, we can skip down to old business, looks like. So we have the, Jeff, looks like Jeff has prepared a few more resolutions to the inconsistencies in the codes.
Yes,
And
I
we-
have. Several of those I've forwarded to planning and zoning because they need to review those
Okay.
for their input, and I'm working on several more that I should have finished here shortly.
Are we sending this to council now then, or wait until it comes back?
You can wait till we get
Okay.
feedback from planning and zoning.
Sounds good. Did anybody have any, I mean, we didn't discuss them, but did anybody have any issues with what he did? All right. Oops. Okay, proposal to amend chapter 804. And this is for, oh, this is about the peddlers and solicitors. Okay, so last meeting, you had Jeff had mentioned that you were going to research this. Did you have a
I'm
chance
sorry, what
to
topic?
do that? This is about the solicitors and
Yeah, that's one of the ones I'm still working on.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
yeah. I have a draft started of an ordinance to amend our current ordinance. I just don't have it finished yet.
Okay. All right, so that'll stay on the agenda for next time, too.
If I might add, we, Jeff sent me, or I'm sorry, Brian, one of them sent me, I think we were both on the emails, the sample ordinance language from Lancaster, Pickerington, Reynoldsburg, and Canal.
That would have been me.
Okay.
I sent that out, yeah.
All right.
And you sent a response.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got those.
This was regarding the 804?
Yes.
So, okay, gotcha. And then the final item on the agenda is sidewalks, but I think Phil wanted to,
Yes, I don't know the correct procedure, if I need to make a motion to withdraw or if I just withdraw, but I would like to withdraw this topic.
Wait a minute.
okay,
that on?
just, that's fine.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's the sidewalk.
The sidewalk topic.
Oh,
He brought this
I thought it
to
was
us and he
Is
just,
it
I don't
the
think it even,
sidewalk or the water heater?
I'm withdrawing that too. I think with all of the discussion that we're probably gonna have on the building department, it's a good idea for me to withdraw these right now,
what was
and
the
then bring them
second
back,
thing that you were withdrawing?
possibly. It'll be in the safety.
Oh,
It was-
I got you, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think there's a motion needed. I mean, you brought it, we never voted on anything, so we can just say to take it off the agenda for next time. That was a quick one. Does anybody have any new business? Or any other old business or any new business they'd like to discuss for rules? Okay, that being said, the next meeting will be on the fourth Monday in May 25th at 6 p.m.
Well,
if
caution,
needed, I guess.
caution. Yeah,
That's Memorial Day.
that's Memorial Day.
Oh,
So your next meeting won't be till June 22nd.
I'll be sad about that. June 22nd?
May
22nd.
25th is Memorial Day. So the next meeting won't be till June.
rules, just
Oh,
rules.
okay, rules. Oh, yeah, yeah, thank you, yes,
We're not in council yet.
yes. All right.
I guess we have to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, or not roll call, but, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
5-minute meeting. Hold on,
I think I can give you.
give me time. Okay,
Okay, so with that, we'd like to go ahead and start the safety committee meeting. So roll call, please.
McCreary,
Present.
Schaffner,
Present.
Carroll,
And in attendance, we also have Mayor Rick Ellis, the VA Matthew Nyheiser, we have Police Chief Brent Rogers, and the Fiscal Officer Brian Bibler, as well as we have Jamie Carroll, Gar Phillips, and we also have Phil McLean, and we also have Mr. Foreman here in attendance, and we also have our solicitor, Mr. Faco, and we have one visitor in attendance, Mr. Bibler. I'd like to seek approval of the minutes for March 23rd.
I'll move to, approve the minutes of March 23rd.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Bibler, do you have anything you'd like to say? Okay.
One thing, I don't even know, is this when we talk about street signs, speed limits and things like that?
Yes, sir.
Well, I sort of like the, when I go into Carroll, I see electronic signs all the time telling me the speed limit, and it's something that it's good for me, it keeps me within the limit. But I noticed we got one down here in Baltimore, and it hasn't worked for probably a month or two, I'm just wondering what the problem with that is.
Parts on order.
Or it's on order. Okay, that's all.
Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, as far as the 2026 goals, we still have 0 workplace accidents. I believe we're continuing to meet that. 0 fatal accidents, definitely continuing to meet that. Hopefully it stays that way. Reports, PA,
I don't have anything to add.
okay. Police Department,
Just, everything's rolling along pretty much. We're really hitting the training building hard. It's getting really close to being finished. We've got some electrical work to do and a few other odds and ends, but we're definitely down to punch list items. So, I would say we hope to be using it by the end of May,
great.
perhaps. So it's going along real nice.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, old business. First on our agenda is the building department.
Yeah, just wanted to add that I did hear from Mr. Camp this week. He's informed us that he is not interested in the job and asked that his name be removed from consideration.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Okay. Also on old business, water heaters.
I think that's what we were kind of gonna wait till, kind of what Phil said, we were gonna take that off and talk about that
Yeah,
with the other stuff. Yeah, which you're right, it's coming down, it's gonna come up, but it will come up when we're all.
Is this
we
when
got
we're
it all.
talking about the building department? then?
yes.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever we decide in safety, and I'm not on safety,
yeah.
I think is what gets recommended to council.
Well, do we have somebody else in mind to do, other than Mr. Camp, to do any of this stuff?
I don't. I'm gonna take recommendations. We can always look into stuff.
Is that what we are wanting in lieu of? Is that the conversation?
Well,
I'd rather decertify personally, but my position's never really changed on that.
I'm,
Mine hasn't changed either.
I know.
I'm totally not in favor of getting rid of everything.
I'd be in favor of this decertifying as well.
so what do we take that to council?
Yeah, if that's what committee's recommendation is. they would go
So
to
someone needs
council.
to make that motion then.
Okay, well,
I think I'd like to kind of revisit, why was it voted in favor of, the safe built? So there's been a sudden change. I guess I'm
Well,
trying to better understand. I realize you voted the same way.
The
So let's kind
timeline,
of revisit
the
this.
timeline starts way back when we created a building department in the first place. So we've had a building department for probably 10 years. We just haven't had anybody to implement our building department.
Which is what the issue became.
And so the state of Ohio basically threatened us and said, hey, if you're gonna claim you have a building department, you have to actually have one. And so in an effort to try to implement a building department, we started looking at different options, and we've gone through a few different various options during that 10 years, none of which have worked, and now the latest is safe build.
is that working?
Depends on whether you want to remodel your house or buy a fixer-upper or build a house. You'd have to actually go through the process to understand what
The question was, is it working?
would depend on your opinion based on what you do.
Depending upon the perspective, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
from
different
from
people,
my
you can see-
perspective would be very different
Of
than
course.
from your perspective.
Yes.
You know, the only person that I said I was gonna talk to that I didn't, that has had, and he's had to deal with them, and I'd be curious to what Mr. Jude has to say about it, because he does a lot of building and remodeling in Baltimore.
Jonathan did with him too.
What's that?
Jonathan Armstrong.
Yeah, but he also told me that he paid Safe Build $10,000, but he neglected to tell me that $8,000 or $9,000 of that was for tap fees.
You're asking the guy that speeds if he wants the speed limit, so.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I know, but I'd like to see what Jude
Bob
has to
Jude's
say.
reasonable though.
Yeah, he is.
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
So asking him, and he's done several
And I
projects
haven't done it. He's done a
before
bunch of
and after
projects. Yeah.
The implementation of.
I would like to talk to him if you guys don't mind, and we could table this and just see what, because he's done, I can think of 6 duplexes, a house. I mean, he's done, and just see what he says and get his opinion on it, if you guys don't
And
mind.
maybe ask him how much or if it changed the cost of
Right.
his project.
Yeah, that's a good, no,
Did you not just have your house all redone here a couple years ago or a year ago or whatever? Before Safe Build came in? Yeah.
I
Siding, windows.
yeah, the tree fell on
Right.
my house, yes.
Do you know how hard that process would have been with Safe Build? And all you was doing was minor exterior fix-up stuff? So with, you know, all the permitting and everything that they're wanting, or we have to do, whatever, that just throws your timeline into a longer period
And raises costs.
and raises
because
the cost.
The people doing the work have to get all this additional information to them.
Well, I guess a couple things in response to that. I guess I've never seen the actual requirements. Because, I mean, you're saying that just to put siding on, I would need a permit after,
The roof, the
oh,
siding.
the roof, yeah, well, I understand the roof.
Windows, I mean, everything, they're requiring permits.
Do we have do we have the requirements?
Yeah, we'd have a list of requirements. A lot of that would be reflected in the fee schedule that council approved.
The only reason water heaters even came up was because that seems like the
Trigger.
the smallest, you know? It's
yeah, well, and that's just, we're not.
Well, but like I say, that was just cited as this really simple thing.
Right.
That literally takes like an hour to change, and there's nothing to inspect and nothing to certify, nothing to test, but it gets wrapped in. It's all, to me, it's like changing a light bulb. I know it's not like that to you, but to me, it's as easy as changing a light bulb. And so that became sort of the poster child of this just goes too far. It goes too far in many, many, many other ways as well. But that just became the easiest, lowest hanging fruit.
Well, if you guys would be so kind to let me talk, and the only reason I keep bringing up Bob Jude is because he's done so much work
Right.
in the last 4 years, and
Well, can you ask him if he'll come in here and talk to everybody?
yeah, that's a great idea, actually.
Because that way,
Could we set that up? Yeah.
everybody can be
Yeah,
on
can
the
hear it
same
one. No,
page
I agree with
and
you.
hear
Yeah,
it
yeah, because if
from
he
the
said
horse's mouth.
if it's not hurting anything, it helps him, or it doesn't, it's a bad situation, then you know,
I'm just gonna say this, because I've been thinking about this all week, and, I was thinking about, okay, so we're gonna, like I said last time, we're gonna have all these new houses out here, all these new houses out here. We're not gonna inspect them, we're gonna just say, just do what you wanna do. And I'm gonna tell you what happens
That's
is.
not how this works.
But I think
to-
that's
not how
What
it already
happens
tells them
to
what
a poorly built subdivision is it becomes a rental subdivision. And we're gonna
The
have
state is gonna regulate that.
subdivisions full of rental people, I promise.
Well, here's
It's
a,
no different than buying a 100-year-old house. You still get the permits and you go in and you do the work. You can still do shoddy work and it's gonna get passed.
My point is, hundreds of houses, and we're not gonna inspect them. I think that, I do not want, I don't know about you, but I do not want, I don't think anybody really understood, I think a couple of people understood what I said last time. As far as the water department is concerned, we had an administration that saved money, put Band-Aids on things, probably was the reason we got a water,
The previous administration, it was
a wastewater plant that was not appropriate.
right.
And that's their legacy. And I don't want rental subdivisions on each side of town
Right.
being my legacy. And that's
So,
my point.
so I would agree with what you said. I guess the way I feel about the development on the north end of town is at $350,000 to $500,000. Those would be some pretty expensive rentals. But I don't want shoddy. I
Well, no,
concur
they
with
won't,
that.
because they won't be worth that much if they're shoddy.
But banks inspect these houses and home inspectors inspect them for the people buying them. There are already checks and balances on the quality of construction.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing is the home inspectors that have to go. But like I said, I say we bring in a guy that's a contractor that he's gonna say, and we talk about it some more. I agree with you. I think we should talk about it more.
Mr. Mayor, you asked us last week during the council session for all of us to go back and come up with ideas on this.
Yeah.
And I would like to have that discussion during council, out of the safety committee. That way we don't have to wait. We can move this along a little
Okay.
faster because we can have council sessions every 2 weeks as opposed to a safety committee once a month.
Yeah, because as we just stated, there's not even going to be another safety committee meeting in May.
Yeah, we could.
It's gonna
We can
go
move
all
it.
the way
Well,
to
then
June.
let's move it up to council then. That's fine.
Okay, well, if we're gonna do that, so, I have one more question. We're using Safe Built right now, and, is anybody unhappy with Safe Built other than the fact that they're too thorough apparently, or?
It's not that they're too thorough, they are implementing the entire code to the letter of the law, and a lot of it is absurd.
So I will move, that we, let me see how we frame this, I will move that we remain with Safe Built. Put that out there and then we can take it to council if,
I'll second that.
okay, and then I recommend, or I move that we then take this to council this evening.
Okay.
And then it is, it's in council.
Yeah,
It's out of safety and in council.
that makes sense.
I
Okay.
think we're voting.
you
All
on
right,
it.
so
gotta
we
vote on
are
that, though,
moving
so-
up our discussion regarding Safe Built.
We
That
haven't
will
even
be
voted
going
on
to
this
council.
motion yet.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
You haven't voted on this.
Oh, I didn't even vote on the first one, did we?
The motion is to
Retain safe
to
build.
remain with
All right,
Safe
so
Belt
we
and
need-
send them and take to council.
okay, so we need to vote on that, remaining with Safe Built. First was Debbie, I seconded that. So we need to vote.
Okay. Schaffner,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Carroll.
Okay, it goes to council.
Yeah.
So there's no more discussion on.
No, not till we
Not
get
in
to council.
council.
It's
Yeah.
in council now.
Yeah, well, it'll be the council.
Okay.
That's the best thing to do. Yes. Okay.
Okay, So we're moving on to, are we gonna continue then? We don't need to continue the discussion on water heaters, correct? That's already been
No, it's
taken
all
off.
wrapped in together.
all
Okay,
wrapped up.
no new business, so our next meeting, according to my notes, will be June 22nd after rules,
If necessary.
if necessary.
You gonna?
And
Conclude?
anyone gonna move to adjourn?
Oh, I will move to adjourn, sorry.
I'll second that.
Wait, I had to, okay.
Oh, that's fine, I'm like, didn't hear you, sorry.
Okay.
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a roll call, please, Brian?
Carroll. Foreman. McCreary.
Present.
McLean.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Schaffner.
Present.
Can I get an approval of the minutes from April 13th from the last council meeting from someone?
Yeah, I'll approve.
Can I get a roll call and discussion on that? Can I get a roll call on that, please?
Phillips.
Yes.
Foreman.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
McLean.
No.
McCreary.
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
So can we get an approval on the agenda?
Foreman makes a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
McCreary seconds.
Foreman. McCreary.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Okay, I notice there are obviously visitors in the galley. Is there anyone that would like to talk first? Brian, I don't know how you have it listed.
That'll be Rick Cricket. Cricket. Oh, Rick. Okay. I was like, it's been a long time.
There it is. It's good.
Well, good evening. I'm here, I live at 511 East Water, right on the corner, going out of town. I got a small lot. We're at, Matt told me we were at 60% now developed.
Yep.
I was at 40 apparently, and about 6 years ago, I did a little add-on on the back and the front, and that was approved. So that must have put me at the 60%. I want to do a little add-on, and it'll look just like the house. It'd have metal roof, gray siding on it. It'd be nice and neat. The gutters would be tied in. The water would go to the street. But I need a couple more bedrooms and another bath. I got 2 grandkids that don't have any place to put them when they come over. That's nobody's problem here. It's mine. But I'm just here to say I need to expand, and I know there's the bylaws and everything in this town. You know, you guys are discussing it, but that's why I'm here. I kind of need it, but if, you know.
We take that to zoning?
Well, I think, well, Mr. Prickett could apply for a variance, but I think he's specifically speaking about impermeable surfaces, which is an issue that several council members have brought up.
It's the only thing preventing him is the impervious surface limitation. Absent that, he could go ahead and build. And I think this is a great opportunity to revisit whether or not it serves any productive purpose.
Doesn't sound like it serves a productive purpose in this situation.
Where he's trying to just add on to his house
Yeah,
and make
no,
it nicer,
I'm-
and you're penalized for having a small lot. I mean, if he lived out on Holder Road, he could build on a massive room addition. But because he lives on a small lot, like I do, you're very limited as to what you can build.
That side road of his house is considered the actual street, right? Is
Yeah, I don't know how that
considered
come about, but
your property.
yeah, it goes across the street, both streets to the corner and back to my lot. The streets on our deed. I mean, I don't know how that come about.
Yeah.
But it's been like that forever, I guess.
Yeah. When we're counting the impervious surface on his house, are we counting the rock garden on the back too, or
No, just
the concrete
rooftop,
driveway and
asphalt.
the rooftop?
Yep.
I think your entire driveway is concrete, right?
Some of it is, half
Yeah.
of it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Matt, refresh my memory, but that issue's been sent to
Planning and
zoning,
zoning.
right? It's on their agenda.
Yep.
So it's being reviewed.
Being that I'm on planning and zoning, I can kind of speak to this, but we've had numerous conversations over a span of time in regards to maximum lot coverage and impervious surfaces, et cetera. So it's something that we've talked about extensively, looking at surrounding communities, and a lot of it had to do, it's with the runoff water. I mean, that's the whole reason that conversation has been brought up, and we covered it, so, I mean,
When you catch it in a gutter, you can put it where you want it to go. When it falls in your yard, it's gonna go where it goes. So you can better control rainwater or runoff.
Well, mine would be going down and out to the road anyway, to the rocks and
Right,
down to
right.
the road.
So-
it would be going over the hill or, and I still have some yard
Right.
both ways if I add on, the
Right.
little add-on I wanna do anyway. But that's why I'm here, so.
Didn't we bring this up in the service meeting?
Yeah, and it's been.
And that's when we
sent
sent it to planning and zoning. When's the next planning and zoning meeting? We just had one, didn't it?
It's May
It'll be the second week.
14th, I think. Second Thursday in May.
Do you have a plan or anything?
Yeah,
We have,
we have an
I would suggest that the planning, and I'm not trying to make you come to meetings, just to make you come to
Oh, that's
meetings.
all right.
But I'm just saying, I feel like, as a village, this is just one guy's opinion, and there has to be some, we have to take this on a case-by-case basis. And this sounds like a case-by-case basis that we obviously.
Yeah, I would encourage you to fill the variance and come to planning and zoning and present. Just tell us what you
Well, you
said
still have
tonight.
a plan, right?
I do.
What's the
where
cost
we
of the variance?
Where would I get the variance
The
from?
cost of variance is $350. Yep. But if you reach out tomorrow, I can get you a copy of the variance.
Okay.
And if it's denied, you don't get the 350 back.
Correct.
Well, can't we just talk about it, the
Yeah, I mean,
planning and zoning?
I just hate to make this always have to go through the variance process, when it's.
Mr. Prickett could just come and present his case to planning and zoning.
correct.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
start.
That's
As
what,
a-
that's
just
what we
as a
should
citizen
do. I don't want him to
speaking.
pay.
Yeah, before we start the variance process.
Yes, I don't
see
want
if-
him to pay anything until we figure out if we can do it or not.
Yeah.
And I would call Matt tomorrow and we'll let you know when that is, and just come and then we'll have a conversation about it.
Well, Matt's been great. He come out to the house twice and I showed him the
Okay.
plans I had. And,
I just feel like that's something, I'm hoping everybody agrees that we gotta take case by case basis. You can't.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that is May 14th.
maybe,
May 14th at 7
Yep, right
PM,
here.
sir.
Yep,
Right here.
yep. I'll just plan on that and then we'll talk about it. Yes.
do I need to be here?
No, you can get out of
Okay,
here.
if I got some stuff going on.
That's okay,
no problem.
yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep,
No
thanks,
problem,
Rick.
thank you.
See you, Rick.
Yep. Okay, next.
Is Andrew Henry.
Yep, you're up, Andrew.
All right. Well, my name's Andrew. It's really wonderful to meet all of you. Matt and Jeff have that I can come and speak to you about some of the tools you're going to be looking to utilize in the economic development space. My colleague Jeff Harris, who cannot be here tonight, we've been retained as special counsel in the village, and we work with Brooker, Ray, and Wyatt, and we work in this space and do this all the time. So I'm happy to kind of talk to you guys about a couple tools you are looking at potentially using. As I go through kind of a high-level slide, please feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have any questions. I also have some questions and answers allotted at the end of the presentation if there's not any, but just let me know.
And I need you to speak up too.
They
Yeah,
can't hear you that.
Yep.
that
no
mic
worries.
is just recording, it's not.
It doesn't make your
amplifying
voice
it.
louder, yes.
No worries.
Yeah.
I didn't want to scream at you.
Yeah, it's okay. No.
Step it up.
I got you. Okay, so just a very quick, who are we? Like I said, I work for Bricker, Gray & Wyatt. We're a full-service law firm, 325 attorneys. We represent a lot of different industries. In particular, my team, we focus primarily on public sector. We represent a lot of communities, school districts around the state. In particular, I myself serve as special counsel to one of your neighboring communities, Millersport. I work with them all the time. I work as counsel to Fairfield County as well, the Economic Development Department. So I know your community and your county very well. So what we're going to address today very quickly is just a high level, why incentives, what are they? Then we're going to talk about tax increment financing, or TIF, and then new community authorities, or NCIs. So first, why incentives? Very broadly, incentives are constituting your ability to use and intervene into the private markets to strengthen your own local economy, to grow your tax base, to address any perceived market imperfections and really use these to your advantage to shape your development of your community and how you would like to see it be in the future. Why? Because as easy as it is to say, hey, we want to do more housing, we want to have manufacturing, whatever it may be, it's more difficult to make that a reality, and this helps you make that into a reality for your community. So there's a lot of different ways that this can take forms. You know, you have state level incentives, you have low to no cost financing, property tax abatements, all of that good stuff. For our purposes, we're focusing on those last two bullets today, the diversion of tax revenue, which is what TIFs do, and we'll get into that, or special purpose entities that increase your effective tax burdens in the form of a new community authority or an NCA. So first, tax increment financing, TIF. So very generally, TIF is a tool that counties, municipalities, and townships can use to create this structure. It allows you to redirect property taxes on up to 100% of improvement value for any property for up to 30 years. Now, we like to say there's a trick. In one fell swoop, you'll pass legislation at the end that exempts the tax and then assess as a pilot. I understand when you hear exempting tax, you immediately think no more property taxes, but not really the case. What it does, and instead of just taking that property tax and getting rid of it, it allows you to essentially put it into a separate fund called a TIF fund, which is very similar to an escrow, and allows you to take that and use it to reimburse for expenses that the village may have incurred, or if you have a developer, you can go, work an agreement for that for private improvements and for public infrastructure. It's got to be specifically public infrastructure, so it can be something like road work or culverts or sewage. It can be a very, very broad purpose, but it's specifically for public infrastructure. You also have ability to, if the village ever needed to issue general revenue bonds, you can secure these bonds with the pilot revenue. So you have two basic types of TIF. The TIF statute, if you really care, is 570940. We care about 40B, which is the parcel statute, and then 40C, which is an incentive district. The parcel TIF, as its name suggests, is going to apply to a specific parcel or maybe a handful of parcels, but generally speaking, it's going to be used on a commercial property, a manufacturing site, something like that. It's very, very limited in what it can be used for. Whereas an incentive district TIF, that's where you can actually use it for residential housing. And the way the incentive district TIF works is you will identify a contiguous boundary of no more than 300 acres, and it has to exhibit one or more characteristics of economic distress. The statute lists several different characteristics, and there are ways to make this work and make sure that your specific parcel that you would like, or parcels that you would like to include in this, can be included and meet that definition. Now, it does have a couple of key issues in terms of you have to make sure it hits. It can't be, and it cannot represent more than 25% of the overall value of property in the county. You do have to have a public hearing. The incentive district TIF requires a pretty lengthy process, but it's not too bad, but it's just because of the overall impact that it has in the community, and they want to make sure that you have the opportunity to be heard if you would like to have any objections to the actual district itself. Again, the public improvements must benefit or serve that district. So if it's a residential housing development, the streets, the roadways, the sewers, it's got to actually benefit that. And then it also allows real property owners, should you actually be within that square, you can opt out. You do not have to participate if you do not want to. It allows you that ability. And generally speaking, like I said, it's normally just used for single family housing. That's what we've done all across the state. It is a very, very common tool that has allowed communities to take advantage of the tax revenue and redirect it for public purposes. Now, the TIF creation process, like I said, it's a little lengthy, but you start out under the incentive district TIF. You pass a resolution. That resolution identifies that the parcels that in the area that they meet the requirements. Then you will set out the parameters for the exemption rate and the duration. You're going to determine the base year as of January 1 So you'll file a DTE 24 form, which identifies when you are going to start for the base year. That essentially locks in your base value. Anything above that base value becomes what's called the increment, and that's what we use to identify and calculate what the actual property tax that will be diverted into the fund is. There must be notice given to school districts, the county must be notified, and there are certain scenarios where the school district can actually say no, or they can require compensation, because obviously school districts, their main form of funding is property tax, and they want to make sure that they're still getting proper revenue to them. So how long can it be? It can be up to 10 years without the consent of the county or the school district. It can be up to 30 years with the consent. And as I noted earlier, that's where the counties and school districts have the right to object. Same idea with the percentage. If it's 75% or less in 10 years, you do not have to get school district or county consent. If you want to go beyond those parameters, you do have to, it does require that consent, and that's when the school districts would typically enter into a compensation agreement with the community or the developer to make sure that they are being made whole and still receiving some level of revenue. And that's because, generally speaking, if you're doing some type of development that requires a TIF, you're probably going to have increased population. The school district still needs to get revenue to support that increased population. And that's where we get into with the service payments. Like I mentioned earlier, these pilot funds, they're really just service payments. That's based on that increment of the increased value. And I really think that the best way is to just kind of see it visually. You have that existing tax base, that's where it starts. Typically land value, that incremental tax, that's what you're going to be using, and that's what will go into that TIF fund. Now, once that 15, 10, whatever the term is of the TIF or the TIF is, once that term is over, that new tax base is the entirety of the land, and that all just converts directly back to regular property tax revenue. Going back just one slide, these are again just not an exhaustive list of what it could be used for, but it gives you a sense of different items of public infrastructure that it may be used for. So, like I said, the public roads.
Let me grab a question. Pilot stands for what?
Payment in lieu of taxes. Right. So the main benefits, you might be asking yourself, why not just, take the property tax revenue and do it as you see fit? It's really because this allows the village or the community that's actually implementing the TIF to control the entirety of that tax revenue. So it's not going away, it's just being redirected in the village's favor so that they can control it. Now, I will say, although the school district will still be receiving payments, the other taxing jurisdictions will be impacted as well. So, fire, EMS, they may not receive any in a 100% abatement TIF. It would not generally receive any unless the village decided to provide that actual revenue to the EMS. So that's where it gets a little bit different. The school district just has a higher level of priority under the statute. So it also has a very strong collection enforceability. A property owner cannot just not pay it. They have to pay it. If not, it then goes onto the property as a tax lien. So that was TIF. I know I said a lot really quickly. Any questions, or should I keep going?
That is just on the houses that we're building. That's not on any existing houses. I want to make that very clear. Yep.
I mean, it only really affects the increased value from what it is today versus what it is after it's built.
That's correct.
So all that base that's there now stays right the way it is.
That's correct. So the existing land value or any value that's currently there, you will still pay property tax on that just as you normally would. It's just that increment above that existing value. That's what then gets shifted into the TIF fund.
Yes.
All right. And then new community authorities. This is one of my favorite topics. I talk about it far too often. It's a really novel tool. Before I joined Bricker, I did economic development and site selection at a national firm and worked outside of Ohio. And no other state has a tool that is as novel as an NCA, in my opinion. So what an NCA is, it's a separate body, corporate and politic, which means that it's its own separate political subdivision. It operates independently of the village, although the village still has a massive play in it. It typically includes partnership between a developer, which can be either private or, in this case, the municipal corporation that either owns or controls through leases of 75 years, and an organizational board of commissioners, which in this case would be the village. It sounds a little wonky saying that the developer, the statutory developer is the village, but then the organizational commissioner is also the village, and that's intentional. Oftentimes you'll have private developers want to come in. Generally, I recommend to my clients that when they can, the village, the community, they should do both, because that allows you to control it, that allows you to control the revenues, and you don't have to give a seat at the table to the private developer who may have opinions or desires for that revenue to be used in ways that are not completely aligned with the village. You would hope they do, but sometimes they don't. So this allows you as a community to completely control the NCA because of the way the board makeup works, which I'll get into in a little bit.
1 second. I think
Yeah.
your microphone turned off.
Might be, it might be the batteries.
For the thousands of people watching on YouTube.
Everybody loves to hear me talk about this stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
What's our battery budget like, Mr. Mayor?
Well, I just charged them and replaced them last week, so.
Last
Oh,
week they were
rechargeable.
done.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so the next is just a high level of the formation. It's a pretty, step-by-step process to get one of these formed. You start with a petition that's filed with the Organizational Board of Commissioners. This will outline various items that are within the statute, which is Chapter 349. This will be filed by the statutory developer. So if the village would like to, the statutory developer would be the village. So either Matt or the mayor would be the one signing it and officially submitting it to the Organizational Board of Commissioners, which is you folks as the village council. That petition, or that initial resolution, the petition includes, like I said, the plan for development. It then gets approved if you guys desire to go forward with this, and that's called the resolution of sufficiency. The first resolution just says, hey, the petition that they actually submitted, it's sufficient, it meets the requirements. Within 30 to 45 days after that initial resolution is passed, there will be a public hearing that must be held that allows anybody in the community to ask any questions, set forth any concerns, all of that good stuff. Then after the public hearing, that's when you actually would pass the final approval resolution or ordinance, and that's when you formally form the NCA itself. That's when you would start kicking off, and that final piece of legislation, you would identify who's going to be on the board, and I'll get into the board in I think the next slide or the following. But the board itself, generally speaking, you'll have 7 members. The village council would appoint 3, the mayor would appoint 3, and then there would be 1 local governmental rep. That could be, someone here, it could be the county. It's really up to you guys as the organizational board how you would like to determine that. Those members will serve 1 to 2 year terms depending on depending on who's chosen for what. It's generally 1 to 2 year term and 1 year terms for each of the 3, and then the local government rep will serve a 2 year term. Those can be renewed or replaced. There's all of those procedures are set forth in the petition, and then the coinciding bylaws for the the NCA. What can they do? Why do you care? Why do you want to do this? The biggest item is that they can levy community development charges. So community development charges are a lot like a tax. They are not a tax, technically, but they act like one. So it can be in the form of a real property charge, which can be, you know, up to as many mill charge as you would like, a sales charge, a bed charge, or any type of other fee. It's very, very flexible. Now, what I do want to note is oftentimes people see this and they get very concerned about, I don't want another tax. The important thing about an NCA is that the property in the NCA is not in it unless the property owner consents to it. So if you live in the community and the community, for whatever reason, came and said, hey, we would like you to be in the NCA, you can say no. You don't have to. Generally how we see this work, and what I think is such a great purpose for NCAs and a development tool, is villages will say, you know, hey, you want to come do business in our community, that's great, but we would like you to join this NCA. We'd like you to consent to this and consent to having this additional charge on your property or in a housing development, you know, an additional 5 or 6 mills, however much you want it to be. And that's what we do in exchange for other incentives. It's a bargain for exchange, and that's generally how it's used. Now, those charges then go into a fund. The NCA board can identify what's called community facilities that they may invest those charges for. It's the same idea as a TIF, a little bit more flexible with what you can do with the funds, but it's generally public infrastructure, or if you want to build, you know, if you wanted to build a public facility like a gazebo, or you want to build a gym, you could do that. If it is supportive of the community, you can build it. And that's generally how that functions. Again, community facilities, so same like I just said, roads, streets, sidewalks, all that good stuff. Why is it beneficial? It's because of the ability to use this additional charge revenue that the village may not actually have access to without imposing it on the existing citizens of the community. It basically works as a pay-to-play for developers who may want to come in, because again, they don't have to. They can say no as well. They don't. If this is just an ability for the village to use this to their advantage if they so desire. Yeah.
So, could the charges generated from the NCA be used anywhere throughout the village, or only in that district?
So the district can be small, but it can be used throughout the village if it benefits the district. So if you can make the argument and say, hey, this benefits the district at large, then yeah, you absolutely could.
If we were working on the sewer plant or we were working on water main lines, we could use it for.
It benefits the whole community,
Yeah, it benefits the whole community, so you could use it. It's a very flexible tool. There are obviously parameters and guidelines and rails that you have to stay inside of, but generally you can make an argument that so long as it benefits the district as well as the community at whole, you could use it. So I went over this very generally. Again, the powers and advantages. This is, 7 members of the board, 4 appointed by the village council, 3 by the developer. They can levy charges, all of that good stuff. Just a couple ideas. The real idea, the concept is, this is what it would look like without an NCA versus with an NCA. It allows you to invest in the community and just make it a little bit more nice or beneficial to just building an overall community versus your standard neighborhoods. It allows it to look a little bit better. From a general sense of what these look like, the Central Ohio region has a large number of NCAs. It very much is the leader of the state for these types of authorities. We're starting to see them grow more and more to the northern part of the state, to the southern part of the state. This is potentially a little dated. I'd love to see what it looks like now, but over the last couple years, it has just grown exponentially. And a couple examples, at least here in Central Ohio, is, like Berkshire Landing. This is in Delaware County. This was an NCA that they put into effect. My team has, and some colleagues have worked on this. They decided that their best use of the charges were going to be a 0.5% sales charge on the mall that was there, a 4 mil property assessment to benefit the school district, and then variable millage in the northern areas to benefit to the statutory developer, who in this specific NCA was a private developer, but then also to funnel money as well to the township. The biggest one is the Bridge Park. Bridge Park is obviously a massive, beautiful environment that has been completely revitalized over the last 20 years, and the NCA is a big tool for that. They've used 4 different charges: assessed value, debt service, retail, hotel. There's a lot of different avenues that you can use, and you can get very creative for the charges and how you would like to use it. The board makes the decision. Like I said, they operate as a separate body politic, so when that board is appointed, it is all up to the board. They decide, and if they want to assess the charge on this property, they can. If they want to not assess it, they decide that they want to make a deal with a different developer and not assess it on theirs, you don't have to. Everything that is to be done and the powers of the authority itself will be in that petition and the initial declaration of covenants and restriction, and that essentially operates as your guiding principles, and you can go within those parameters as much as you would like. But it's up to the board, and like I said, that's why I generally like to have the village be the statutory developer, because that board has so much power. Now the village has all 7 seats at the table, and they can functionally work together to advance the village's goals to the best of their ability. So, and that's all I've got. All right.
There's not gonna be a quiz, is there?
For you, there might be.
Yeah.
Questions? I mean, this is just for new developments. It's not, anybody that lives here now is not gonna be a part of all this.
Unless they wanted to be a part of it, they certainly could opt in, but
Well, but I just, the one thing that I was surprised that you said is everybody in the new developments have a choice on it. Why would anybody say yes to another tax?
Well-
the developers who say yes, the people who buy
Okay.
the houses
That's
didn't have
correct.
say.
Okay, that's what I
because
was-
they bought
that's
it with it
correct.
already on.
Yeah, with
The
it on.
developers that we've been talking to over the last 2 years have been rather embracing of it. They
Yes.
feel like it makes a better community.
It
That's
does,
correct.
it does.
it's all, the goal of it all is to make a functionally integrated community. So to your point, the developers generally, before the parcels get split and all of the, individual parcels are sold to homeowners, they will commit their individual development in, and they'll do it all at once. And then, because the original parcel was in it, all of those people who bought it, they are now in it, and they will pay it, and it will be on their deed, so it's not a secret. They will know.
Right,
It'll be
right.
fully disclosed.
Correct.
Oh, that's
Correct. It's up to them, and they will know.
it's part of the cost of their house.
Because they will be our residents.
Right. Exactly. It's part of the cost of the house, and it's on the developer and the community to all to together say like, hey, like, this is part of it, but they will know it's part of the house.
And I mean, earlier it was mentioned about these new developments turning into rental communities. I mean, there aren't very many low-end rental communities that have these NCAs on them. They're mostly higher-end developments.
That's right.
Because it raises the cost.
That's right.
Okay. I mean, I feel like having one agreement for anything, not just for the next 5 years, but for the next 20 years, one agreement is an ideal situation for the village, because it just, we
When
get
we're able to
familiar with
modify
it.
it, like we could start out with this and then modify it as
Yeah.
we
So
move forward if it.
generally, the way it works is when you put it together, the NCA, you'll want to put and think through everything that you want in it at once, because when you put it in, that initial petition, once you start adding property owners to the community authority, it's going to take 67% of property owners to actually amend it. So once they're in, it's very, very tough to amend it. But you can be very broad in how you'd like to do it. You can set these parameters, because just because you say, and I'm just for examples purposes, just because you say we're going to do up to a 10 mil charge, that doesn't mean you have to assess a 10 mil charge. You can assess no mil charge. You can assess a 2 mil charge. You can negotiate that with the developer in exchange for joining the NCA and to consenting to joining the NCA. And then the board of the NCA can assess it. They will pass individual resolutions. They will have public meetings that they will actually pass resolutions to decide how you would like to use the tool. So villages will use it like your own. And like I said, I just helped the village of Millersport put one together, last month. And that's the goal. It's to potentially use this for long-term economic development.
Okay.
Can we get a copy of these slides?
Yeah, I'll send that to you, Matt, and
Yep,
then we can
I can send them out
distribute
tomorrow.
those.
Thank you.
Yep. Cool. All right.
Anyone else?
Okay. Well,
thanks
thank you
for
all so
coming
much
out.
for your
Yeah.
time.
Thanks for coming.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thanks. You're welcome to stay for the rest.
Appreciate that. Or you can have your life back.
Who's next on the list, Brian? Nobody else? Nobody else? Okay. All right, well, we will go into,
Wait, there's still more.
No one else.
no one else
Anybody else
signed.
wanna speak?
So we're into administrative reports.
Yeah. As far as administrator report from me, I really don't have anything. I think we're gonna talk about everything that I would be willing to go into that we've talked about in the small committee meetings. I know that the state is paving actively Route 158, and we are having to replace a few sidewalks and stuff like that to go in conjunction with them, and we're doing that. I think the paving through town, I wanna say, should be done within 45 days. Is what it sounds like. They're gonna try to be done within 45 days. That's really the biggest thing that we have going on, other than, we are still waiting to final approval on our money for the water replacement lines. And we should have that in the next couple of weeks, correct?
Hopefully.
Yep. And that's a pretty big water project that won't be done until fall, but we will be doing that. Does anybody else have any questions for me? If not, we'll go to the village administrator.
Things I wanted to highlight from my report: fire hydrant flushing began today and will continue until that is finished. That just helps with water quality. Residents may find some discoloration while it's being done, but there was a Facebook post and a website post about how to handle that and what to expect. So if any residents speak to you about that, I would encourage you to send them there or have them call the office. Also, our pre-application for the CDBG Critical Infrastructure Grant was moved to the next level. So there's a public hearing next week. Assistant Chief Farmer and I, as well as a representative from our engineering firm, will be at that public meeting to answer any questions that they might have specifically about our project. So, although that's not a promise for funding,
It sounds pretty good to me.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yes, so more water lines fixed.
Yep. But other than that, I have nothing to add.
Okay, Mr. Fiscal Officer?
We got nothing, but we're going back to the whole iPad, tablets, whatever. We did get an updated quote from ABC, and we can get new tablets, whoever wants them, for around $447 each. So,
Well, what I would do is that whoever wants one, they just should let Brian know, we should get them. I mean,
Is this a
I think
tablet
I'm the only one
or is this
using
like
them,
a
so
Chromebook?
mine's fine for
tablet.
now.
Okay.
Now you switched mine out, it's working fine for now.
Okay, so
Well, it had quit and you gave me a different one.
I know, but that was going to die before long too.
Garbage,
So
you want? Let's see,
I don't think anybody
I
else
don't
wants
want
Mine,
one.
well, I use mine, so, I mean, mine's currently working.
currently working.
So are you saying I need to say now?
Yeah, I mean, like,
If it needs replaced later, we can do that.
we're going to have the
Four
same
of them
quote.
have 'em.
I mean, it won't be that much of a difference in the quote.
Ask them, it should be good for at least 6 months.
Do you need one?
No, I need to take 5 minutes and call the guy and get my computer fixed, but I'm
Okay.
fine with my laptop.
Phil, do you need one?
Did you call
I
Bill?
did not call.
I didn't either.
Same reason.
But
I
if you
didn't have
guys
the
feel
5
like
minutes.
you need one, then get one, I understand that.
I used the laptop when I had it, and
Okay.
it's been a lot more difficult without it.
We can order that.
We
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say purchase a couple for sure.
I know, I definitely want one, like, I'm not one who's gonna, I do not want to use my phone's device.
Yeah,
because
think
mine's a
Jamie's
work
right. I'd
device
just
and I
get
don't
4 or
wanna.
5 of them to be there.
Motion do that, or?
No, because it's,
No,
I just would,
it's under, yeah, that's what I would do too.
okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Solicitor, you have a report?
Just a couple comments, no first readings, no third readings. There are several ordinances on for second readings. And there is one tabled ordinance that can be untabled and voted on this evening. And then, Brian, with regard to the cybersecurity program, that can go to another reading, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Does carry emergency language because it needs to be implemented before the end of June. And then, that's it. That's all I have.
Okay. Let's go to Village Council Committee Reports, Finance.
Yes, Mayor, we didn't meet tonight, and it doesn't sound like we're gonna have a meeting until June the.
No.
22nd.
We have, we have a meeting in May.
I thought that was the meeting that fell on Memorial Day.
No, that's rules and safety and.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Okay, what date is that
The
in May?
11th, I believe.
Our next meeting will be May 11th
Yes, sir.
at 6 PM.
Service,
We did not meet. Our next meeting will be May 11th.
Safety.
Yes, Mayor, we met this evening. We had a relatively in-depth conversation about the building department, and we're going to continue that conversation here in council. Our next meeting will be June 22nd.
And rules.
Rules did meet tonight. I was thinking we said something, that was in yours. I'm trying to remember. Jeff had prepared some, he's got, working on some things, and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
And we meet again, not until June 22nd.
Yes, ma'am. Did the chief have to excuse himself?
He did. He had to step out.
Okay.
His stuff's still here, so I'm assuming he's coming back.
No worries. How about, Jamie, anything from the, nothing? Okay.
Quiet.
Planning and Zoning Commission, we meet again,
It'll be May 14th.
we know we have something to talk about now. The impervious, and in my opinion on that is we take it a case by case basis and try to figure out what the new commission.
Tree Commission.
I was looking at you, yeah.
Okay, yes, sir. So we had a tree planting yesterday to honor
Yeah.
Arbor Day here in the village, and.
Two tree plantings.
Yes, the tree planting, well, one was over at Johnson Park, there was
Yeah.
another one as a memorial over at Bicentennial Park. And then, we also, I believe, the trees have been finishing up the trimming of the trees. I know there was a company in town, have they been back to finish up?
Coming back. Matt has
Okay.
made arrangements.
Yep, they'll be back May the 11th.
Okay,
They
there
had,
we go.
they had to pull off the work because just how saturated the ground was.
Okay, okay. And I know Steve made some purchases for trees, so didn't you get some trees that, a few, were those?
did, but those were, all the trees were donated that we planted.
Okay, yeah.
Yesterday,
So-
they were, who were they, who donated those? I wondered about that.
The Hoisington family and Michelle and Nathaniel Schnitzline donated the two at Johnson Park, and the two at Bicentennial Park were in honor of the retirement of the executive director and assistant executive director of the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture, because Dixie Russell lives here outside Baltimore.
Good.
So they planted them here, but the ISA chapter donated both of them.
Nice.
Yeah, they look like they were very nice trees.
So no village money was spent.
Yeah. Okay. Records Commission, anything?
Just waiting on dates from Jeff.
Waiting on dates from Jess.
I had it on my to-do list, Brian, and I meant to call you this morning.
We're gonna go right into motions. We have no first readings. We do have some second readings. The tabled ordinance,
Did we skip through motions?
Well, he did raise it.
Oh, okay.
sorry. Any other
I was gonna make
motions?
a motion that we cancel our contract with Safe Built.
Okay. So do we vote on that then?
Well,
It needs a second and a vote.
Second.
discussion.
I'll second it.
Second, now discussion. So he seconded it. And, discussion.
Also think, don't we have,
We had a motion from.
there was a motion that we
that
brought this
that
up to
we bring it
council.
to council.
and we're in council, and I
Okay,
made a
but there was a
motion
mo-
to cancel it.
But Debbie made a motion to bring it up here to keep it, so there has to be discussion, I believe.
Yeah, that's what he just said, discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is he just countered what she made a motion to in a previous meeting, so.
So I guess if there's any discussion, let's hear it.
I've said my piece, I believe, and I just don't want this to be my legacy. I just think it's too many houses that are coming into this village. They need to be good houses, and we need to protect the oncoming generations.
100% agree. 100% agree.
But
And these added tax revenues are gonna do a lot more to that end than some
why are
person
we
who
in
could
such
care
a rush
less.
for this?
There's no rush, we've had them for a year.
Have we had them for a year?
We've been in contract with them for a year. We've only been active since probably, I think it was the beginning of the project was when we
Okay,
pulled the
okay.
trigger.
So I obviously,
It
I
took a
don't.
while to get things going, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we have varying perspectives here, and from my standpoint, I am not from a business standpoint, which you are. I just want to make sure that our community is safe, including the residents, making sure that we have quality work being done. And I think there's a very gray area here. I do not think it's black or white. So it depends on where you're standing. And I feel like we need to keep it. I also feel like there was a certain part of that that makes it more efficient for individuals who want to be able to apply for permits and such. So I'm gonna stick with that.
Any other discussion?
Yes. So there was one thing we talked about previously, which was to look at what hiring the other communities like Pickerington or Lancaster, their building department to do our inspections. They won't do it?
They're too busy.
Okay. So then I guess I need to be straightforward about where I stand. I'm looking at this fresh. I wasn't here for the prior vote year ago or whatever, but I do see it differently. The question to me is whether the village should be in the business of charging our residents for a safety check that the market already takes care of. So when you finance a home, the lender inspects. When you sell the home, the title company and the buyer's inspector can catch any unpermitted work. The Residential Code of Ohio exists whether we do an inspection or not, so it is the law. So if a contractor ignores the RCO, they face a civil liability. That's another check that we already have on the system. When a claim is made from insurance companies, they'll investigate. So they're doing a check as well. So we have all of these things that make our building department look redundant. So those mechanisms exist regardless of whatever we do. So I think we're inserting ourselves as a middleman. We're charging a fee for it. That's what an HOA does. That's not what a government does. So just wanted to put my thoughts out there.
An HOA does not,
They tell you what color your storm door has to be. They
Well,
get
yeah, but
down
they
to
don't-
that
they
much
don't-
of a degree.
they don't do structural inspections or anything like that.
Can I ask, how, do we know surrounding municipalities of a similar size, do we know
What they're doing.
what the percentage of those surrounding municipalities that have some type of, building company?
Well,
Department.
I know Carol.
Department
does-
that's
Carol
been
does not.
contracted out, or
Right.
they have an independent that's doing the job.
so we're in a unique position, right? We're a village, but we're larger than most villages in our area. So Pickerington and Lancaster, of course, do. Thurston does not. I don't know about Millersport. Lithopolis does, who we've worked with in bringing Safe Built on board. But you know, communities like Sugar Grove, but we're talking significantly smaller communities.
Right, right.
And
Okay, thank you.
one other, I'm sorry, can I? be ready?
Yeah.
You mentioned
discussion.
the liability.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you said it could go up if we had a building department that was not certified, but if we decertified and didn't have a building department, then I guess we wouldn't even need that kind of liability coverage
Well, if we-
because we're not.
Sure. So that statement was in regards to if we have if we have a certified building department, but we're picking and choosing what portions of the code to apply,
Okay.
it becomes a liability issue. If we decertify, but then try to create an independent village building department, that increases our liability.
Okay.
So if you were to decertify, then issues of liability go away. If we have a building department and we are being consistent with state minimums, liability is decreased because we are being consistent with that. So those would be my answers to those. Those are multiple scenarios.
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
Any other discussion?
All right, cancel what are you gonna do with the building department?
Well, I feel like it has to be done in 2 steps.
Okay.
I mean, isn't that, I guess I was thinking that one motion would do one thing and the next motion would do the other thing.
So I guess it,
I'm just thinking out loud, did we create the building department legislation?
Yes, we did.
So we need legislation for that part.
If we take that step.
Yeah.
so at this point, do we vote on abolishing?
Well, at this point, we'd be voting on whether or not we continue our contract with Safe Build.
Yeah, 'cause
So we have 2 motions. The first motion, which is to continue the contract, Rick's motion to terminate the contract with Safe Build. We just need to clarify how the voting.
I don't
is
know
going to
that,
be.
does I mean, I made the motion in committee, so.
To bring it to council, and then
Yeah.
I made the motion in council
That's what
to
that's what
not
I'm s-
renew. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Is that I made it in committee, so
So there's-
my motion was not made in.
There's only
council.
one motion before council.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine.
now, okay, so you also realize that we have a contract and we have to honor that contract.
Yeah, we have to
Right.
give them a
We have
couple
to give them-
weeks.
we have to give-
Yeah.
we have to give them
90 days,
Absolutely.
okay, yeah.
Plus,
Absolutely.
The contract's up this month, correct?
Plus, they have extra time that's already renewed. Plus, they have extra time to finish up whatever work they may have going on.
But we only pay them if we use them, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it pays, I mean,
If that were to happen, we just would not issue any more
Right.
building permits.
So at this point,
Finish out the ones we have on the books.
we need to have a vote.
Okay.
And this is to vote to abolish,
No, this
No.
is
to terminate the
Terminate our
contract with Safe Build. Okay,
According to the terms of the contract.
yes.
Foreman
Yes.
and Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner,
It's not gonna be on my watch, no.
McCreary? No.
McLean,
Yes.
Carroll?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. And then Foreman makes a motion to draft legislation to decertify and eliminate our building department.
McLean seconds.
We all know what that means. So if there's no reason for discussion, I would go right into the voting on that to move things along.
Foreman,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Nope.
McCreary,
No.
Phillips,
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay.
So that one's gonna go, be drafted and go for 3 readings and need to be
Well,
voted
I'll
on.
prepare it
Yeah.
as such.
Yeah.
That'll be up to council to decide.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to go into ordinances and resolutions. There are no first readings prepared as of now. The second reading is sponsored by Ms. McCreary. This is the the animal ordinance.
It's one of the cleanup.
Yeah, it's the cleanuts ordinance.
Yep.
Citizens audit.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good way of citizens audit. Yeah, it was. That's good. Ordinance 2026-12, an ordinance amending the section 618 animals of the codified ordinances. Next second reading is about the adopting the cybersecurity.
Well, hold on, she might wanna vote on it
Oh,
tonight.
okay.
On which, the
Animals?
26-12?
It's the second.
No, that one can go
Well,
Yeah,
three
the
readings.
sponsor usually
Usually
the sponsor says, okay, this is what this is, you know what this is, it can just stay on for a third reading.
Do you have anything?
No, this is gonna stay on for a third reading.
Okay. So the next one I'm gonna read is, Jamie, sponsored it, and it's about adopting a cybersecurity policy. And did we make that the declaration of emergency?
That's just, goes in effect right away, but it can go for a third reading.
Okay.
That's up to Mr. Carroll.
Well, I'll read it, and then Mr. Carroll can tell us what he wants to do. Ordinance 2026-13, an ordinance adopting a cybersecurity program policy in the declaration of emergency. Mr. Carroll, are you okay with that going to another reading?
I'd just like to make the motion to adopt it now and get it over with.
Okay.
So what?
No, well,
You have to suspend 3 readings first, and that takes 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 readings.
And then I'll second that motion. It has to pass by 3/4.
Carroll,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Schaffner,
No.
McCreary,
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Passes.
Yes.
That motion.
Did we have discussion?
Well, you can when they make a motion to adopt.
Okay.
I'd like to make the motion to adopt.
Well, I mean,
Foreman seconds.
I guess I'm too late, but, I mean, why was it an emergency?
I mean, yeah, that, my
It-
question's
it
gonna be,
needs to go into effect by no later than June the 30th, okay?
And
Okay.
and it was like, why wait?
Yeah, and if by chance we don't have a quorum for one of the meetings, we're still held to that deadline by the
Okay.
state of Ohio
Okay.
for that policy.
I already know Memorial Day falls on one of them.
no, that's good. I just wanna make sure we don't get in the habit of suddenly start pushing things through.
No, I
Because
agree.
prior, years ago, we had conversations about not shoving things through.
Yeah, and mainly it was with discussion when it affected money, where this one
But
really
still,
doesn't. Yeah.
we went to meetings on that.
Right.
The importance of not shoving things and pushing things through that don't need to be.
Right.
All right.
This particular ordinance doesn't fall in that category, in my opinion.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, to the next ordinance.
No, we have.
Oh,
We have a
I'm
motion.
sorry.
Now we need a motion to adopt.
I need
Yes.
a motion to adopt.
Foreman seconds.
Okay, Carroll,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes,
McLean,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
And that's the only reason I asked to do it, just get it over with. It don't
Yeah.
involve no money.
no, that's fine.
no
It's gotta
nothing.
be in by June 30th.
It's just housekeeping.
Prior,
That's just cleaning it up a little bit.
there were conversations about making sure that we weren't,
Oh, I agree with the
If it
money
was
part.
anything
Yeah,
other than
anything like
housekeeping,
that.
I'd have been a no vote too.
okay.
All right, so the next ordinance is, sponsored by Ms. Schaffner. This has to do
Wait a
with,
minute.
No, you skipped one.
You skipped me.
Yeah, you,
oh, the
I'm
trees,
gonna
I'm
say
sorry, thank
something
you,
on this
thank
one,
you.
so-
This is Ms. McCreary. Ordinance 2026-14, an ordinance to amend chapter 1004, trees of the Baltimore codified ordinances to delete this chapter.
Yes, I believe this is another one of the cleanup ordinances that, through the audit, so, thank you. With this, we'll move on to third reading.
Any other discussion? Okay, so now I'm gonna go to, this is the parking on Company Street. And this is the second reading for this.
It's a good idea to read it.
Okay. Ordinance 2026-15, an ordinance amending section 452-16 of the Baltimore Codified Ordinance, parking permitted on certain streets. Prohibited, thank you. And the traffic control map to provide for no parking on the portion of Company Street at the declaration of an emergency.
This is simply a measure to help the fire department. They're having problems getting through that area, and so we would like to have no parking there so we don't block the street.
so,
Any other discussion on that?
so you go third reading then? It'll go,
Yeah.
can go for, okay.
Yeah, yeah, because Brett's not here too, maybe he has an opinion, but I'm sure he's gonna be in agreement on that. Okay, I'm gonna read the next ordinance and then Rick can explain what it is. It was a tabled ordinance, ordinance 2026-05, an ordinance approving the pre-annexation agreement with Cherry Lane North LLC and the declaration of emergency.
Okay, this is an ordinance, pre-annexation agreement. I believe this is the Lona property on the
Yes.
south side of 256 where they
Yes.
moved the house. And this has been through 3 readings. The only reason it has emergency language is so it'll take effect immediately. So we're going to untable this, or do I need to make a motion to untable this? So Foreman makes a motion to untable this ordinance.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
It's one of those deals where we do this or somebody else annexes
Or
it.
there'll be a
So-
Thurston Village
Yeah.
limit sign outside.
Yes, there will.
Outside Jamie's house.
Yeah, so we have a choice there. That's the only choice, unfortunately. So then we
We
can,
need a roll call. Vote.
The untabling, yeah.
Let's see, Foreman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
McLean,
No.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Okay, Foreman makes a motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay. Discussion?
This is it, I think.
Oh,
We can let Thurston be the bad guys. We don't have to do anything, but
okay.
and let them take the revenue from it and lose the water. I mean, we have water pipes that are 90 years old. If there's going to be, that's this whole thing. If there's going to be somebody making money, it should be this village so we can fix the infrastructure that we have.
Well, you're gonna have
Otherwise,
more say in what gets built
Yeah.
and what the level and
Yes.
quality of it is too.
yeah, that you could end up with a
You have a
trailer park
voice
out
in
there.
it if it's in
Yes.
Baltimore. You don't have a voice if it's in Thurston.
Yes.
Okay. Foreman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Yes.
McLean.
nope.
Okay. So that we pass that on emergency.
It has emergency
It
language.
has, five vote, five.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No other legislation, so it's on to.
Okay. Is there any old business anyone would like to talk about? New business. Steve is here, and Steve has. Do you have a second, Mr. Cawthorn, to talk about the signage?
If you are ready.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, Steve and I talked about this a long time ago, and we were talking about getting donations to do some sort of signage for the Opera House, and somebody agreed with Steve and donated some money, so we're gonna gear up and try to figure this out. But Steve had some samples.
Looks like everybody was actually able to get the little report we put together. So there's some new faces here. Let me start by introducing myself. I'm Steve Cothrell. I'm on the Tree Commission. I'm also the director of the nonprofit that's been renovating and programming the Opera House upstairs, the Baltimore Downtown Restoration Committee. And I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to the village and to the council for the investments you've made in the building envelope in the last few years. You know, the tuck pointing, the windows, the roof repairs that are kind of ongoing at this point, are all greatly appreciated and really important to maintaining the space inside the building. We're also very excited about the prospect of new front doors. And one of the things, as the mayor mentioned, that we've also talked about is some kind of exterior signage to identify the building again. We just had an event about a week and a half ago, and again, as we hear every time, people say, you know, I've been by that place a million times.
Don't know what it is.
No idea what was in it, don't know what it is, don't know what goes on there. And we'd like to keep changing that situation, so, this report shows you 3 different styles of historic marquees or signage that adorned the outside of the building at one time. The Victorian name that we use now came from that blade style sign on the corner of the building. We don't know exactly what years these different signs or marquees existed, but you can kind of guess by looking at the photos. But it's been a long time, at least 30 years since anything has been on the outside to identify the space. And it wasn't that important when the space was just holding village stuff. But at this point, as the mayor mentioned, we did receive a significant donation toward this project as a result of our gathering we had a couple weekends ago. And the mayor has told me he is ready to help us fundraise for this. And I have to say, he had a pretty good track record when we needed some money for the bicentennial. So I'm happy to turn him loose and see what he can shake loose himself. We don't have a specific design or budget at this point, so it's a concept. There are some concept designs in this report, including a traditional sort of trapezoid-shaped marquee over the front doors. That can come either with LED programmable screens or the old-fashioned change out the lettering by hand kind of thing. There are significant differences in price as well as maintenance with those two concepts. And then there's also some photos of another blade-style sign on the corner of the building, which could be seen from Main or Market Streets. And then just to show you the options that are out there nowadays, there's also a corner-mounted double screen option shown in the report. That obviously looks very different, not nearly as traditional as what the trapezoidal-shaped marquee would look. So at this point,
What I'd like everybody to do is look at these, think about what you guys like. Down the road, have a discussion. We know he's kind of got, a sort of an estimate of what some of these cost. And I really feel like if we could if we could pick one out, we'd go after it.
Is it out of place to ask what you've got so far towards it, or do you?
I'm not ready to identify the donor, but we received a $10,000 gift.
Yeah.
Last week.
Which was very generous.
Very nice.
And I feel like I could get the rest of it so we could have a sign up there. I mean, we just got to picture we got to figure out what you all
Do you
think
have
is
a
the
specific
better.
sign that you have in mind?
Well, I'm kind of a traditionalist.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah.
marquee
I
over
agree.
the front doors.
Oh.
In my dream world, I could program it with my phone and change the message, in the blink of an eye, but
I like the
again,
corner.
that adds
I like the
considerable
corner. That's
expense.
fine.
Yeah, I like the corner.
I think there's so much pretty on the front door with the round top and
Yeah.
the date that the marquee would conceal. And that the one corner one that said Victoria is really, I
Yeah.
think, a throwback to,
Yep.
That's a handsome option. The only thing that one lacks is the ability to
light up.
promote programming
But-
and events.
I mean, I guess the location and the sign, I guess it's more about where it's at. I would think we could get the same sort of programmable sign that would switch to like Victoria Opera House, but then go to upcoming events and then go back to Victoria Opera House or something like that.
I would imagine, given that, they show two very different shaped
Right.
corner screens, I would imagine they could incorporate a blade style sign in addition to
LED
that.
changeable, programmable, yeah.
I like the corner signs just because you can see it from
That'd look good.
all angles, and
Both sides, yeah.
it looks
I'll
traditional.
walk out in front with a sandwich board on, advertising.
That's a good idea.
We have the
Currently
sandwich board.
changes
not in
it
the budget
all the
card.
time, which is not so convenient. It would be nice, like you're saying, if it could have like a revolving kind of message, maybe
Well,
announce
but the other thing
festivals,
that Steve and I said though too
events.
is because that corner sign is kind of affordable. Say we did that corner sign, the traditional one, and there's lights around it. There's nothing saying that down the road we couldn't do. Now that when you said what you said, Rick, about the door, as I'm looking at it, and know there's new doors, putting a marquee over that I can see that, but we could do maybe something different at the bottom of this sign, like a marquee sign. I mean, we don't have to. If we could come up with one of these signs for the corner, and that's 35 to 40 grand. I mean,
Blade would be awesome because you could see it, if we could get messages on
Yeah.
it, because you could see it then from both roadways.
sides, yeah.
Clearly.
'Cause so many people, and I know they've said this to Steve, we didn't even know what was in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, and that's a waste to not know what's in there because it's beautiful in there.
And I don't sit out here at the corner very often and just watch traffic, but although that can be very calming.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who go through this town every day and they're either on Market Street or they're on Main Street.
Right.
And that's it. So having the corner sign would allow it to be visible from both directions.
Okay.
And, you know, so again, we're talking concepts right now.
Right.
We would certainly come back to the council before we actually
Right.
pitch a specific design.
Well, is it possible for,
Go ahead and get a
You to-
presentation on a blade with a changeable
Yeah,
message.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've been talking to a couple different companies to get these concepts, so I can ask them if they could show us a couple of options that incorporate both of those.
and maybe like a long one, and then at the bottom, a rectangle at the
Wrap
bottom,
around kind of.
so you could see both sides, I don't know, there's, you know, it just would look nice, and it's not gonna cost the taxpayer, any money, this would all be, donations.
All donations.
So, you know, I mean, you're off to a great start already.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is something we could do and have done maybe yet this year.
Yeah, and I really think, you know, one of our goals with this Opera House forever has been to make it kind of an economic engine for the downtown.
Right.
And letting people see what the building actually is functioning as,
Yes.
I think would help, even if they're not coming
100%
to
would
events
help,
here.
Yes.
We know anecdotally from the concert we had 2 weeks ago that big groups of people went to the Pint House and went to Pepito's. and
Right.
Probably went to Puerto Vallarta.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
So,
There was an
you know,
impact.
if we can get the building into more.
Well, we might be able to rent it out more for
everybody.
more events and stuff too.
We do rent it out. We have
Right.
one wedding booked so far this year.
Right. I'm just saying there's lots of stuff we could do if people knew what it was.
Yeah.
So, well, if you could come up with another
All right,
concept, that
yes,
would
I'll
be fantastic.
get back to you with some revised drawings.
If I haven't said it, I really appreciate
Thank you.
everything you do, Steve, that's for sure.
Thank you, Mr. Cobb.
Good evening.
Okay.
Alright, now I'm gonna get back to my notes here. Okay, is there anybody else that would like to speak?
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Sure.
Out at the Clanford Farm, all that stuff going on out there, and I call the pipe SDR 35, but that's usually a gravity feed. I don't know what all they're doing, and you all talked about having it engineered. Is that happening, or? 'Cause-
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's, yeah, that's all enginered.
Okay.
That's
'cause
not some
I don't
builder
think
just-
it's incorporated yet. I don't know.
No, it's not.
But-
Well, yeah, Clanford
Yeah.
Incorporated,
All
yes.
going gravity to a lift station.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's all in the drainage and the stormwater
Yes.
is going to be done.
Here's what I'll tell you about out there, and this is the way that we told any of those guys and all of those guys. The drainage obviously has been poor out there, and we're gonna have to fix it once it's in the village. And we'll be doing those people that live out there already a solid by fixing it.
And the same as the Ackers farm.
Yes, sir.
So, okay.
It's all gotta get to the creek and they gotta get it there.
Yep.
Okay. And what do you do with the existing stuff that's in there? What, nothing?
Tie it to the new.
Will it?
They won't, but the people whose property it's on should be able to.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody have anything else? The next meeting will be held the second Monday, which is May 11th at 7 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Our second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Brett Shook didn't shoot anybody, did he?